black restaurant server says co-workers send him a food order with nigger word printed on it, but the manager dismissed it as a joke. We have two contributors here with us today, Dr. Yue Thompson and also April Phelps. What did y'all think about this situation with a black employee at a breakfast spot, a restaurant, as a co-worker, and this was printed out? Dr. Yue Thompson.
Well, this is much more serious than just being labeled a joke. This is very insensitive. It's demeaning, it's derogatory, and it should be disavowed. And I'm very disappointed in the management of this restaurant for not having gotten ahead of this and punished these two co-workers for having heralded such a demeaning and derogatory joke that is offensive not just to this young man who works there, but to all black folk in America.
Yes. April, what would you say about this?
I think that it's a disgrace. I believe that because of the owner is obviously a white man, and he allows his other employees to go unreprimanded for putting such derogatory remarks on a receipt. I think that, one, the owner, there should be something that's done to the owner, because that is, for that to continuously be happening now in these times is unacceptable by the employer and by the employees.
Yes, you know, the local community got involved, and there's an activist that made a quote. And let's see what Reverend Maupin said. Reverend Jared Maupin said, "We do not tolerate racism in downtown Phoenix, especially at restaurants that take our dollars. We are good enough to spend our money in there. We demand more respect." What do y'all think about this comment, April?
I am in total agreement with him. If the money is accepted, then everything else should be accepted as well. Because when you're treating someone just because their skin is a little darker than yours, you're treating them in a different manner. That's unacceptable on so many levels, because we were all created equal. Just because someone's skin color may be a little darker than mine doesn't mean that I need to be treating them any different than what I expect. It's not right on so many levels. I just don't understand why people are still brushing this off as if it's okay. You know, the thing that my issue with it is there are so many people of my color, people like me, that they don't understand what an African American really has to endure until you actually spend time with someone outside of your race. Then you can understand what it is that they go through and stop brushing it off and saying, oh, they're just trying to play the race card, when that's not, in fact, how this situation is going.
Wow. Dr. Yue Thompson, if the activists didn't get involved, I mean, we found out later, 4 weeks later almost, that they finally fired the guy. But if the activists didn't get involved, it's almost looked like that this guy wouldn't have gotten involved. Do you think that social activism is necessary in order to get attention and awareness brought out into a community?
Absolutely, Dr. Jordan. I think activism is essential. We provide a voice for the voiceless. Otherwise, people would go unnoticed. Situations would go unchecked if there were not activists to raise awareness, to provoke conversation, to provoke attention. That's how things change in this country. And I say hats off to my activist brother, but I would like to add a footnote that not only is racism not allowed in Phoenix, racism is not allowed in America, period. And I think we have to disavow these types of things, and we have to make these managers and various corporations know that we're not going to tolerate it, we're not going to accept it, and we will keep our dollars in our pockets until such courses of action are taken that are conducive to the overall improvement of these conditions for this young man who worked there and for the many patrons who frequent this spot on a daily basis. And I must borrow the words of Dr. Cornel West and say that I agree with my vanilla sister, April, in her sentiments that we have to walk in someone's shoes, spend time with them to really understand the magnitude, the depth, and the breadth of what black folk in America have to go through on a daily basis. You know, when you constantly hear over and over such a bombastic outrage across this country. You hear all kinds of disrespectful rhetoric being taunted, and that emboldens people to really want to act out and say things and do things that are just not respectable and not decent humanity. And so I think we have to continue to sound the alarm, speak loud, speak clear, and let everybody know that it's time out for these types of demeaning, derogatory comments and behaviors and actions, and that if we can't all coexist and live together, then we're going to die all together as fools.
That's right. You know, another quote, the Rekavion White gave us this quote here and said, "I feel uncomfortable coming into work knowing that I'm able to be a joke to people that I was comfortable around day by day. And there is nothing being done for that." That was by Rekavion White, the employee. That was the brunt of this joke. Well, thank you for doing great contributing of Dr. Yue Thompson and April Phelps. And I'm here with Onyx News.